One there. Whoop. One there. Yeah, so the heroes return to Velt. We see Cora and Gunnar maybe. This could be the beginning of the relationship. Honestly, I could totally buy that. This movie starts with. Excuse me. They're back at Velt. Cora and Gunnar finally have a moment to each other, to themselves, having not had that up until this point for this entire adventure that they just came back from. And he goes, "I have feelings for you," and they make out. I don't hate that because it gives stakes to both of them because they have something to lose. Good thing they're in a place where they're not going to lose anything, and then Noble takes command, and obviously stuff's going to go wrong. I actually buy that. I like that a lot. And we have another character scene, probably between all the heroes that have been hired. Shirtless guy, knife lady, the little sprite person that paints his eyes. That I haven't mentioned this entire story because he doesn't really have much of a story. He's just kind of there. All these characters need to have friction, need to have collaboration. They need to have stuff going on because they just met. They're still ostensibly strangers to each other, and they think they've finished the war before it's even started. So there needs to be something there. Moving on into the need. There's something wrong. Maybe Cora, in the back of her mind, is like, maybe they're going to come get us, come after us, because even though I think that's when somebody comes up to them and goes, "Why do you think this is over?" And Cora goes, "Oh, I'm an expert of this for reasons I can't get into because of my dark past, but it's a standard procedure that when the boss of a dreadnought dies, that the dreadnought has to go back to the mother world because they need to get a new boss." I could see somebody at the table being like, I'm a villager who doesn't know this. Can you explain this to me? And then she does, and I would accept that. And I think under need, that's where that would fit. That would also sort of seed the moment of maybe we're not as safe as we thought we were. And then the hero feast, where you find out Noble is alive and he's coming in 5 days. Actually, that's going to be later, because that's going to be this. So he makes the phone call. The kid answers the phone, thinking he's going to get to hang out with Sam, the girl who got attacked, for the rest of his life, because he has a pretty good life now. And there's a feral robot out there who also protects Sam. So he's got a pretty sweet gig. Happens to take the phone call, finds out that the dreadnought is on its way. And that would also be really convincing because he wouldn't have been ready for the phone call. Because the way it's played in the movie is he puts his vest on, he's ready for the phone call. I think it's better that he wasn't ready for the phone call and he's trying to sell that he's ready for the phone call. I think there's a lot more conflict there. And that feels a lot more authentic because he was told that his bosses were killed. So he's good. He can put his feet up. He can start a family. He can farm grain. And then he gets the phone call on the bat phone that he didn't even realize was still plugged in. They're going to be there in 5 days. I buy that. So General gives a speech. The work's not done. We got the montage, sure. Oh my God, I forgot in the harvest that we had this drop ship. We should go get it and see if it works because that could be really important in the fight that we're going to have to do in 5 days or 4 days. Small moment, another bad guy scene. Recovering the drop ship is its own additional thing, and that's going to be a time crunch. I could write that in because that's a whole thing. Moving on, they're getting there. They're at the training montage where they're about to do this with Rocky. More bad guy stuff. We have a last supper, which is very classic. It can be very trite. It can be very cliche if it's done, I don't know, the way it was done. But I think there's a way to do it that now once we've spent time at the beginning getting to know the characters, getting to know their nuances, getting to know their interactions. This person likes hanging out with this person. This person does not like hanging out with this person. Like all that kind of stuff. This person keeps lying about something. This person is just trying to leave. This person is, being a douche. All that kind of stuff can come to a head at the Last Supper, where the general goes, shit's gonna get real, you know, you're gonna have to fight, and we're gonna stand by you because we're the good guys that got hired. Yeah. And then the rest of this stuff, I think, works. So I think that's what it is. I think the first hour and 25 minutes or hour and 20 minutes of this movie, where it drags and it's slow, and it feels like it's the first draft summary version of the story, is the problem. And part of that is the logic of the order, and part of that is just character interactions, because obviously the rest of this movie is going to be big action set pieces and payoffs and different character pairing ups that have different dynamics, especially if there's enemies coming together, or friends coming apart because one of them dies, or one of them, you know, is a coward or whatever. That kind of, all that stuff happens over here in the action stuff, but all that stuff needs to get set up in the sort of the TV soap opera world that is being set up, because otherwise there's no emotional stakes to the story. At the end of the day, it's the gangsters showing up at the town asking for you know, their vig, and the town going, kick rocks, we're not going to pay you, we're not going to pay your extortion. And so you need to understand who the town is. You need to understand that it's two independent groups of people that have to learn to work together. It's the townies, and then it's the rough people who in any other circumstance wouldn't be in this town because they wouldn't be invited to this town, and how they work together and how they learn from each other and how they interact with each other. And then there's also the aspect of the rough people just having friction, because there's a bunch of different ways to be a rough person. Yeah, so